Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name's Eva and today I want to talk to you all about saving food waste, how to prevent it and what to do with scraps that you do create. So the first thing is simply storing your food correctly in the fridge or in a cupboard, making sure that none of your vegetables or fruits in the fridge are getting wet because that causes them to rot quicker, storing leeks in jars with water and onions away from potatoes and garlic in their own separate jar. And then, of course, just storing your lovely dirty Maris pipers in a dark, cool place to prevent them from sprouting. Only buying foods that you're actually going to eat. So many of us buy spices for one dish. Why not just buy the spices you use all the time and just really find new meals to make with them? Or only eating grains that you know you'll actually consume, not buying really niche grains just because they're on sale or just because you've heard about them. You know, I think a lot of us did this with quinoa a few years ago, but and then also just knowing that things have more than one life. So for instance, tea. I mean, I make 2 cups of tea from one tea strainer. Most people just make it with one, but you can still get a perfectly good cup of tea from it. And the next one is potatoes. Please don't peel your potatoes, you don't need to. And if there are any bits which are sprouting or any bits that are a bit green, just chop off those bits. Don't waste the whole potato. Even if you're making mash, you can still leave your skin on and just compost the bits you don't want. Then is pickling. I absolutely love pickled food. I pickled some beetroot last year and this year I've been pickling a lot of red cabbage. And this recipe is super easy. I'll leave a link to it down below. So what you'll need is 1/4 of a red cabbage, 120 ml of water, and then 120 ml of apple cider vinegar or red wine vinegar, and then a tablespoon of sugar, a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground black pepper, and then a whole clove of garlic. Then you just want to shake it well, make sure it's all mixed in, and then just leave it on the side for a couple of hours. Make sure you keep shaking it and then just store it in the fridge. Next is frozen foods. So I love buying food on sale like spinach and making sauces like this carrot top pesto and just saving food scraps and freezing them. It's a really great way to make them last. The next thing is making homemade cleaner. So I use lemon peels to make my homemade cleaner and I put them in a jar with some vinegar and I just let them soak in this vinegar for about 2 weeks and then I can strain them and turn them into my homemade cleaner, which is just 1 part vinegar and 1 part water. Well, lemon flavoured vinegar to be precise. I use this all over my house. It works absolutely perfect. It's really great. I made these cleaning cloths recently. Very proud of them. And yeah, it works absolutely perfect. Saves us a fortune as well. And why not use coffee grounds as a really good natural exfoliant? I absolutely love using ground coffee on my body. I do this probably once a week when we empty the coffee machine. It just feels so good. My skin feels so much better. I moisturise with olive oil when my skin's still damp straight afterwards, so I literally just feel like a baby. You can also put oat pulp from making oat milk in a bath and have a really lovely oatmeal bath. It's also really, really good for your skin. So next is making stock from veggie scraps. So whenever I have any scraps of veg, like onion peels or broccoli bottoms or whatever, I keep them in these brown paper bags in my freezer until I have a full bag. At which point I then empty it into my pressure cooker. You can also do this on the hob. It's absolutely fine. You don't need a pressure cooker to do this at all. And then I just cover the veggies in water and just cook it on my pressure cooker for about 1 hour and 15 minutes. If you're doing this on a hob, I would recommend doing it for about 2 hours. Just leave it simmering on the hob. It'll be absolutely fine. And when it's done, it should be this really beautiful golden colour. And then I just strain out all the big bits. I don't mind the little bits. You can use a cheesecloth to get the little bits out. And I store some in a jar in the fridge for use now. Let it cool down first, of course. And store some in these plastic containers to freeze for a later date. Another really great food waste hack is regrowing. So things like leeks and lettuces are really easy to regrow. You can just put them in a bit of water, let the roots regrow, and sit them somewhere sunny, and then you can eventually just replant them in your garden. So here I've replanted some garlic cloves that were sprouting, just so I can try and grow a bulb from them. They'll take quite a while. And here are some of my spring onions that I bought about 6 months ago that are still going. You can also grow some foods from seeds like butternut squash. I dried out these seeds so I can either replant them or I just eat them as a snack. They contain really good nutrition for you. And the final tip is what I like to call plant tea. So essentially leftover water from either cooking pasta or starchy foods or vegetables. You can make this from bananas as well. So if you just cut banana skins up, put them in a jar with some water, leave them for a few days, it makes banana tea. And I just water my banana tea, starch tea, whatever, water it down a little bit, and then I simply just water all of my plants with this. This is a really great fertilizer. I wouldn't recommend doing it more than once a month, once every 2 weeks, and make sure that when you use pasta water and veg water, you don't put any salt in the water. But my plants absolutely love it and it makes them very, very happy. Thanks so much for watching this video. Please like, comment and subscribe. Have a beautiful day and stay kind.